It's happening.
It's finally happening.
It's finally going to happen. So we're going to get Universal in the UK.
Yay! I cannot tell you how excited I am about the news.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've had a lot of letdowns, obviously, from other theme parks and stuff, but this looks like the most, how can you say, realistic chance of it happening now.
Oh yeah, they've got it, haven't they? They've got the land. They're going to, I think they're going to start next year, start building, start doing their works. I'm so excited. Yeah, this is what we need.
It's going to be so good. So, we're going to go through some of the bits that we think are going to be in the park.
Yeah, so I mean, some things might be a little bit controversial to other, because we've looked at some videos, haven't we?
So we've waited a little bit of time, we've watched everybody else's videos, seen what everybody else is looking at, and then we've sort of gone through the map ourselves, just based on what we know and what we can see. And
we've studied it quite closely as well, actually.
Yeah, with our noses pressed up against it. So we'll take you through it step by step.
Yep.
So welcome to Beb's Life.
Hi, Beb Lifers.
And if you're new here, I'm Luke.
I'm Shanice.
And if you're returning, then thanks very much for coming back again for another video.
Love you.
So we're going to deep dive into Universal today. So that's what this whole video is going to be about. So we'll get right to it.
So excited. So just before we get into the map bit, just like to give you a few facts, a few details, and this is actually on the Universal's website. So the proposed plans include an entertainment resort complex with a world-class theme park with several theme lands featuring Universal's distinct brand of immersive storytelling, thrilling rides, innovative attractions and exciting entertainment. Initial resort plans also feature a 500-room hotel and a retail, dining and entertainment complex. It will be the first Universal branded theme park in the UK and in Europe.
Yeah, so it's a big one. When you look at the Universal map, I mean, ours is bang in the centre of like that map.
Yes.
And everything else is to the side, so it's going to be a big one.
It will.
So this development will have a transformative impact on Bedford, and that's not an easy word to say either, and the UK economy. It will be a major contributor to the creative arts and tourism industries. God, I'm getting all the words mixed up. Generating nearly £50 billion of economic benefit for the UK and creating thousands of new high-quality jobs. So the new high-quality jobs, I think there's going to be at least 8,000 new jobs within the park.
Oh, yeah,
20,000 during the construction, so 28,000 in total. The £50 billion economic benefit will come over 20 years. By the way, it's not going to be expected in the first year. But it's going to attract something like 8.5 million in its first year, million people. That is.
Yeah, so that's going to be fantastic for the UK to have all those visitors. I mean, we don't get that, do we? I know London probably obviously gets a lot of visitors, but this is huge news for everyone in the UK, whether you're into your theme parks, Universal or what. It's a big deal for everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal because it's for entertainment sides of it. You know, it's just something, a massive influx of people. It's going to bring our tourism up, so
it's going to be great for the economy, for the British economy.
100%. It says here at opening, the theme park will be one of the largest employers in the region, with approximately 80% of employees expected to come from Bedford, Central Bedfordshire, Luton and Milton Keynes, with many more communities benefiting from apprenticeships, training and educational opportunities. That's massive for me. That is changing a region. I mean, when they've done I think they did a straw poll on this and like went around the local people, 92% of Bedford residents were in favour of this.
And do you know, I don't blame them. I mean, if I wish I lived in Bedford right now, I think we might have to move.
Yeah, we're going to have to move to
Bedford. Like, this is going to be great for them. It's going to be great for the local businesses. Just think of the hotels around there, restaurants, cafes, bars. They're going to be absolutely packed full of people.
Definitely.
This is going to be great.
And it makes it so much more accessible for us as UK citizens, because we've all been Disney, like, and you can see the bags in our room and you've seen them on our socials. We've been heavily like Disney, and that's not that we don't like Universal, it's just that it's not as accessible for us. We have to go to America to experience it, or Shanghai, China. We have to go to other places like Beijing. There's never been anything in Europe, there's never been anything in the UK that even touches what they can do at Universal, so it would be really good.
And I can't believe, right, because we live in Sheffield, I can't believe that it's only going to be a 2-hour, 40-minute drive for us. That is it. I can't believe we can say we're going to be in Universal in a 2-hour, 40-minute drive. It's incredible. And do you know what? I think it'll be brilliant for people if in different countries to come over here, experience Universal, and then all I have to do is get on a train to London, then get on the Eurostar and go to Disneyland Paris. I do think it's going to benefit.
Yeah, definitely.
Disneyland
I think it's
Paris.
going to bring a lot of the entertainment industry in the UK up to scratch.
Yeah.
I think it's going to help them retain people, because people are going to come here to visit Universal and then go to Old Towers, Thorpe Park.
Yeah, I hope so. And
visit
we're
those
hoping
places.
that the other British theme parks do end up expanding themselves, maybe, putting in a few more rides. I think some of them need to.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help everybody up their game,
Yes.
because they've now got a real competitor in there that's got a lot of money to spend. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know Blackpool Pleasure Beach have already come out in support of this,
Yeah.
and they were really like excited about that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. Just the last paragraph on for Universal says, "We recognise the tremendous excitement our theme parks and destinations bring." Hence the video today, because it is really exciting. It's all we've been getting giddy about.
Yep.
However, it's too early in the process to know the possibilities of featured attractions and experiences. More details about the project will be revealed over time and are subject to the necessary planning consent approvals. That means that everybody's seen the concept map. It may change.
Yes, I think it's likely to change as well. So everything we mention in this video is our views, our views only. So we've studied the map, and this is what we think
Based on that concept.
based on
isn't
that
it?
concept. Yeah, not saying it's going to happen, but this is what we think based on the map is going to come to the Universal in Great Britain.
So let's get started and get that map. And
I
we'll
don't know
show
why I'm
you.
doing that.
We'll show you where we start. So we're going to start now down near the front,
Yes.
and we'll put it up on screen. So we're going to start right at the front of the park.
Yeah.
So on screen, you'll be seeing it now. We'll probably circle where we're going to be,
Yep.
and then we're going to zoom in and we're going to show you where everything begins.
So the first one, if you look on the map, there's a circle around the entrance bit. So if we zoom in on there, so first you can see when you walk in, you've got the Universal globe. I cannot wait to see that.
That's going to be
so
insane.
exciting.
The fact that we have seen it in Orlando, we've got the pictures with it, and to be able to do that in Great Britain is going to be such an incredible moment, especially where you can sort of see just behind the globe is going to be those arches,
Yes.
which are synonymous with walking into that side of Universal. Such a cool thing, especially when they're decorated up for all the different seasons. So your Mardi Gras,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, the Halloween Horror Nights.
the Halloween Horror Nights
I'm
medal
hoping that
comes
they
up.
do that. Halloween Horror Nights. Can you imagine? Can you imagine everything on those arches being there for that?
That's going to be so
That'll be incredible. But I love the water feature around the Universal Globe.
Yeah.
And I think that's great that we've got that in Great Britain.
That is going to be such an overused hashtag at the time that opens of, Universal selfie, or having that globe there and doing a picture with it. It's going to be. It's just going to be such an Instagrammable picture.
It really will.
It's going to be so cool.
The first one in Europe as well.
Yeah, definitely the first one in Europe. Now, looking probably a little bit further into this, you can see a couple of buildings off to either side of the entrance. So that one on the right-hand side, we think possibly could be like a concierge or a customer service.
Yeah.
It's going to be something like maybe even stroller rentals.
I mean, it's a grand customer service, isn't it? I think they need that, don't they, when you first walk in the park, to give that good impression.
It might even be a shop. It could be sort of anything so far. So I think when I've seen the parks before, they've always had a concierge at the front. It's the best place, obviously, when you've got problems or if you've got anything wrong, or you want to get something, or there's extra tickets to pick up, or whatever it might be.
I think it's good to mention also, before we head further into the park, is that we'll see some shops, probably some I don't know, some probably restaurants, cafes, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be City Walk. I've heard that a lot of people said this could be the main bit of City Walk.
I think City Walk will be a separate thing.
I do.
Because you'll not need to have a ticket to go to City Walk like you don't in America.
Yes.
You can just go out of the car park, you go through City Walk, and it's got all your eateries, all your retail, and experiences. There's loads of bits in there.
Yeah. So we think that it'll be on the outside of this, and it's not shown in
100%.
the concept art
I think
map.
this is purely the concept
Yes.
park map.
Yeah.
So not the city walk. I think that will come later.
Yeah. Should we head inside, Beb?
Yeah. So if we've walked through the arches and we go a little bit further now, again we've been looking at the speculation around these, and there's a little sort of glass building off to the right hand side, which we think could be a cinema possibly.
Possibly. Or it could be a
there.
really fancy store.
There's
like
going to be
merch.
shops. So we'll look at the right hand side first because.
But just to mention, I love that water feature in there. I feel like it is giving kind of, I don't know, like a Mediterranean vibe. I always said that. I feel like it's quite a Mediterranean feeling when you walk down.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at the actual shops, the style that they've used on the concept map look a bit like the bazaar in Islands of Adventure in America, Orlando. So when you go if you're thinking of the Orlando park, you go in the left-hand side, there's a bazaar that's full of sort of shops, realistically, that's all it is. And I think you've got Fire Eats Grills there as well. I think that's what they're aiming for with that. Like
How bizarre.
How bizarre indeed. So yeah, there's definitely, it looks like a cinema because there's a bit of a show building behind or a little bit of a unit there that they can go into, but it's definitely retail.
Yeah, there's quite a few show buildings actually, looking at the concept map. So that'll be interesting to see what they actually put in there. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think there's going to be some show buildings, or maybe even, I don't know, a bit of a theatre.
Yeah, well, people have speculated again. We've been listening to all the speculations, and we listened to where it's the lights, camera, action, Steven Spielberg experience, which is something that I think Beijing have just had, where it's something that Steven Spielberg has created and it's inside. Now, that possibly could be the right place for that, you know, just off City Walk. You know, straight in, you've got some sort of internal exhibition or whatever it is straight away. I think that's a perfect opportunity.
I think that's a really good idea actually. That just really sets everyone's mood before actually heading into the park.
Either that or a 4D cinema. You know, that's always quite a big thing, and you notice that every park normally has a cinema out front. So what about the left-hand side though?
The left-hand side, well, I mean, we'll go on to the hotel, but I think a lot of it is probably shops in the hotel, a separate entrance as well for hotel guests to go into the park, maybe, and I don't know, probably Starbucks, you never know, Starbucks, a few 100%. Coffee shops maybe. But it's hard to tell from the map because obviously we're looking at it from a different angle, so... Yeah,
we're looking at it from the left-hand side. It's a shame we can't see it from the other way because that might give us a little bit more information of what they're doing.
But that's what I think anyway. I think it's going to be hotel shops and cafes and...
I think a couple of restaurants will be in that hotel.
Hey, that'll be good, yeah. There'll be definitely restaurants in the hotel. There's got to be.
Yeah, I think they'll be maybe on this outside facade bit that you can actually go to those restaurants without going in the hotel, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But I think as you walk further down, I mean, behind where you can see is it like a clock tower? Like a clock tower thing? There's a big building behind that. But I don't think it's part of that clock tower. I think it's part of the other
I think it's around the corner.
Which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, I just love how it's tree lined. I think that's really, I don't think the palm trees, they just look like, I don't know what, I'm not very good with my trees. I do like trees.
They don't like palm trees yet, and I suppose palm trees in that climate probably won't work. I don't know.
I think, because I mean, when we look further around, I can see a few palm trees.
There are definitely palms in certain bits.
Yeah. So but as you walk closer into the park, it looks like you're greeted with this absolutely gorgeous lake.
Huge lake.
Huge lake. But we'll talk probably more because as we walk round, there is something there that I find really interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if we're going to walk into the park, we're going to head to the right.
Yep. So we're going anti-clockwise on the map.
Yeah, and we'll show you that next bit. So we're walking around to the right-hand side. So the first sort of, I suppose, space area theme that you're going to see.
Or what we think you're going to see.
Yeah, I think this looks like Amity Island. Now, if you're a Jaws fan, you might recognise some of the architecture. And if you zoom in on the map where we've got it up now, I think in the middle of that little lagoon, it looked like there was a shark photo opportunity.
Yeah, that's what we think, because you can see a little bit of water there, and there is like there is like a little, I don't know, it's like a little photo opportunity. It's like a little island, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Raised island. And we thought that we could see, it almost looks similar to the shark, the Jaws shark, hung up outside.
Yeah, because they've got one at Universal
Yes.
Orlando. So, and I'm sure we took a photo with that at some point. I took a photo of that.
There were so many photos.
But yeah, it definitely looked like that. But if you look a little bit further behind that, so there's some buildings just there, and they kind of look like Amity Island. Now,
Yeah.
they kind of look like the tower and stuff off there. Possibly.
We're very unsure about this. It definitely looks like, because if you look actually where the big lake is, there is some buildings there, and it does look like there's probably I don't know, it's giving me beach vibes. It is giving me serious beach vibes. But I reckon there's going to be a nice little cafe there, and I think you can probably see. I have to have a look zoomed in. I have actually got it on my phone, but I don't know. I can see it looks
Some
like there's
little
parasols. Yeah.
You can see that on there. So there's definitely a dockside sort of eating.
That's
or
it,
restaurant.
dockside. That's the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
there's definitely that. So you're going to be able to eat there and look out across that lagoon and probably see some of the other attractions from that viewpoint. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But coming the other way, so using that shark as what we think is a shark, as I'm convinced, as the focal point. If you look a bit further down, there's that showroom we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Now, it's quite a big building. Could that be a Jaws themed ride? Now, again, we've looked at a lot of speculation. People have missed that one, I think, and overlooked it a little bit.
Yeah, some people think that show building is when you first walk out into the park, where I mentioned about the clock tower.
Yeah.
I do think it's got something to do with the area that we're on now. And it would be interesting to see if it was actually a Jaws ride. There's a lot of water around there. I don't think that'll be part of the ride, but that could definitely be part of the theming. Yeah,
100%. I think that's really, really, it's a really good
Oh,
point.
that'd be
about it
so
being
good
water.
though, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? I've always wanted to go on the Jaws ride. I've looked at videos of it, and then they got rid of it, and I just feel like I'll never go on that again. Until now, might be able to.
Unless it's a different Jaws ride to what we've had in the
Yeah.
past, because I'm sure Universal have said at some point that there are things here that have never been in another park.
Yeah.
So that makes me question some of the other things that have come up later on. Because if these are
Interesting.
all new, again, they haven't even given details yet. They don't know about the planning
No.
permission for these things, but I'm hoping that's a Jaws thing. Cause I
Me
think that's,
too. Yeah, I love
yeah,
that.
I think that'd be a big
I think it's just great theming all around. I think it should be Jaws.
So-
You're missing Universal, it should be Jaws.
Let's move on a little bit further around the corner. So
Yeah.
again, following that right-hand theme,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll take you a bit further around the park. So moving a little bit further around the park, we've got quite a busy area actually.
It's a very busy area, yeah, and I think there's a lot going off in this area as well. So if we zoom in, you have got, I think this looks similar to the one in Beijing. We've not been to Beijing, but this is what we've looked on the website and everything. So we think it's possibly a Minions
Yeah,
land.
so I think they call it Illumination Pier.
Yes.
So it's got Minions, Despicable Me,
Mm-hmm.
because there's some colour in there. I definitely think there's Minions.
Yeah.
But then the other side of it, we've sort of said
Secret Life of
Secret
Pets.
Life of Pets.
Yeah.
That I don't think many people have picked up that one either.
No, I mean, I think Secret Life of Pets and Minions would just fit so well together. And I know that Secret Life of Pets is filmed, it's supposed to be in New York, is that right?
Yes.
And I do think some of the buildings, probably on the other side, which you can't see, could be
They look
some
very
New
well.
York
Yeah, they look
buildings.
themed because they look separate to
Yeah.
where the green and purple ones are.
Yeah,
on
it
this
does.
side.
Yeah, it does.
So you could be looking at possibly 3 separate IPs there. So looking at Minions, Despicable Me, and Secret Life of Pets.
yeah.
All 3 separated out a little bit. And I know some people may have sort of said about Wicked being there because it's green and pink or purple.
Yeah.
I can't really see that, not for where it's located, not when
I
you've got
can't
that
see
Minions sort of themed attraction. It looks like a roller coaster on top of the building, but from what we can work out, that's what they did in Beijing.
Yeah, because
It's not a
inside
roller
there's all the fair rides, isn't there, and everything based around the Minions. As I said, I've not been to Beijing. I'd love to go, but yeah, this is what we think. We think the roller coaster as well. What you can see, right, we're in dispute on this one. I don't think it's a real roller coaster. I think the real roller coaster will be inside if there is one, and like a mini one for kids.
Yeah.
I think that's just the theming around it. I think that's just decoration, like the one in Beijing.
But it does look like a functional roller coaster from that picture. It looks different to the concept of Beijing.
It does look different to the Beijing, to be honest with you. So you think like
It's
could
a
be a working
possibility.
roller coaster?
You've only got 2 other roller coasters in this park outside. A third one wouldn't go amiss. So
see, I find it really strange to have an actual roller coaster on the
could you
roof.
have it on the building? I don't think you could have it because of the foundations.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
we wait and see. Universal always being innovative. So
I mean, they might have something in mind, but yeah, you can clearly see that from the concept art that roller coaster looking type of thing is on the roof.
What I would like to see though is the minions going around it, shouting at each other as you're walking around the park, and they just and doing that as they're going around. That'd be brilliant.
What did they do, Bear?
I'm not doing that again. that was once. You'll have to rewind it if you want to see that again. So we'll take you. Like, we think that's definitely going to be some sort of.
There is on the other side as well. If you've got to really zoom in, which we haven't done because it was so blurred on the camera, but it does kind of look like the Minions statue on the outside of the entrance.
And it does look like the Minions statue, and it is on that map, and in a little shady little way. Now, Universal are very good at this, and Disney did this the other day as well, where they hide things in this concept as well.
Yeah.
Like they'll put bushes in and they cover things up. We all know that. So,
I think there's a lot there that you can't see.
I think they've covered quite a few bits up, but they've left us some obvious hints, and I think that's definitely going to be what I would consider Minions Land almost. Or,
I am like 80% sure.
Yeah, quite sure with that one. So we'll carry on walking around, and we'll get to the next bit, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So the next area we've been looking at. So
this is a hard one.
Yeah, and we'll zoom in. So we've got it there for you. So we've highlighted it, and now we've zoomed in on it. Now we think it's going to be the Shrek themed ride.
I mean, it's got to be right.
Yeah, 100% got to be, because the thing that's there looks like some poison apple, and that's where it looks like it's from. So
100%.
we've looked at it, and there's the little castle facade at the front of that ride. What I consider a ride or a building.
Do you know what? We'll probably put a picture in of the poison apple.
Yeah, just so you can see what we're
from
getting
Shrek.
at.
We'll put it right here now, and you can clearly see this looks so obvious.
Yes, it looks so much like it. So, with it being right near Minions and everything else, I suppose the whole DreamWorks thing kind of animations kind of really works. So yeah.
And it works because there's a lot of foliage there, there's a lot of trees, there's like a bit of woodland.
Yeah.
I think that it's got to be Shrek. I'm 80% again.
I think I'm given that
Probably
concept,
more than that,
I'm
actually.
100% convinced that's Shrek.
I mean, we've heard a lot of people say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings has been mentioned a lot.
Do you know what? Lord of the Rings is one of my favourite things, and I would absolutely love it to be Lord of the Rings. However, we are pretty certain that Universal hasn't got the rights to Lord of the Rings yet.
No, they haven't got them as it stands right now. Now the rights did change in 2022, but I don't know whether Universal are probably in talks to have it. Now it would be a fantastic addition to all of their parks.
I would love that.
Obviously, Tolkien being from the UK,
yep,
it just makes absolute sense.
It would make sense. So yeah, but from what I've read, Lord of the Rings isn't...
Not right now, but a lot can change in 6 years.
Yeah.
So let's see where we go. But there is a show building at the back. Now I think they've, again, what we mentioned earlier, I think Universal have been very clever to put bushes right at the front where the entrance would be for that.
There is literally nothing on the map that shows anything. So
total question mark, that one.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think this is part of Shrek? Do you think Shrek could have 2 rides?
I can't see it having 2 rides.
I can't see it having 2 rides, no. I think there'll be something else there. Something woodland themed, maybe. DreamWorks themed.
Yeah, I mean,
possibly.
Looking down the sort of list of what Universal have, I mean, they could pull anything out of the bag here. You know, you could have your Nintendo stuff. They could probably pick out something from, let's say, Wicked. I mean, again, it's in.
There could be
bushes.
something to do with Wicked there. I mean, that's such a big show building. I mean, that's huge. there's going to be something major in there, but
That's
we're
gonna
not
be
quite sure what.
A decent sized ride, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely some others. I mean, you think Men in Black maybe they've got that.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they could have ET. He's through the
Yeah.
through the water.
I mean, not that ET's had 40 years of his ride over in Orlando, like, and he's a little bit tired now, bless him. But there's definitely something going in there. I mean, something to do with the woods and something fairy tale wise. I think Wicked probably is a big shout to have within the Shrek world, maybe.
I mean, wouldn't it be good if there was? You mentioned this the other day, didn't you? If you could have a roller coaster. I mean, you're probably not going to get a big roller coaster in there. I mean, you could do it. It's quite a big show building. But you said to have like a dual roller coaster, with Alphabet and sorry, we've not watched Glinda. That's it. We've not watched Wicked yet.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a cool thing. To have
a pink one and a green one.
Yeah, a dueling coaster based on Wicked. You know, maybe that's a thing. But we'll stop the speculation. Let's move around a little bit further because there's more to look at.
There's quite a lot of exciting things to look at here.
So we're going to walk past the roller coaster. We're going to ignore that for the time being.
Ignore the roller coaster. We'll talk about it later.
Don't look at it. We're going up to the show, what we consider to be a show building at the back, and it looks kind of amphitheater-ish, or the Colosseum-ish, however you want to describe it. It's definitely a bowl, and that looks like what you get at SeaWorld, for example. They have these really good... I was
thinking SeaWorld vibes,
Yeah, so it looks like it's got water in there. I can definitely see some pyrotechnics going off.
There's definitely some flames in there.
Yeah, it's definitely fire.
Yes.
Now, we've been talking about this non-stop, really. We've got 4 possible ideas. So, the one that everybody's sort of going on is Waterworld, because they've done that before.
Yeah.
It was successful. But it is a 30-year-old film that didn't do that well. So,
and with the Universal mention that they want to try something new in this park.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's James Bond. That's the other one.
Yeah, I mean, a James Bond stunt show.
Yeah, now there are plans that are floating around the internet that, they actually went to do this before and never got around to actually getting it into production. Now, that's back from 60s, I think it is, somewhere around there. So there's a possibility that it could be James Bond. Where else would you have James Bond in the world apart from the UK?
It's got a bit UK, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
All the martinis they'll sell out of that place will be incredible.
Oh my God, they could have a martini stand.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred. Yeah. I don't know much about James Bond, if I'm honest.
I mean, imagine the one-liners you'll get out of the whole thing. It'd be great. So you think of Disney's Indiana Jones stunt show. James Bond, I think, would work really well, especially on the water, because quite a few of his films, I think it was Moonraker, was definitely with a submarine in water, and it was on the volcano sort of island and everything.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, they've had other ones where it's like Casino Royale, and I think ends up in Venice.
Yeah.
There's definitely stunts within the water field for them there to work on.
But then we've also said what we think it could be. Now, we think, because of the land, we will go more onto this, but we think it could be a bit of How to Train Your Dragon, part of that.
Yeah, so anybody that's been keeping up with Epic Universe has seen the How to Train Your Dragon land, or Isle of Berk, and it's incredible. So the amount of animatronics they've got that can fly. They've
used some state-of-the-art animatronics. I mean, we wasn't lucky enough to go yet, but from the videos we've seen, the animatronic dragons look absolutely incredible, and they've put so much work and effort into that. Not that I haven't done with the rest of the park, but this is just to a whole new level. Now, because they've put so much effort into it, why not bring that to the UK?
I definitely think it's one of their emerging IPs where they can put a bit more. Now, there is a live action in the sort of works as well for How to Train Your Dragon. Now, that might release, I say, soon this year or next, but I think the hype will still be quite big around that. Now, why do we say that? Because in the next area, we'll sort of mention why.
But can you imagine in this show building just having animatronic dragons flying around? Just dragons coming from everywhere. You've got people doing stunts in the water. Yeah. I can just picture that, me. I
think that is a really, really strong shout. Now, the other shout of this is Jurassic World, or Jurassic Park, and something to do with that. Now, again, we'll mention why we think that, because a little bit further on, we think there's a bit more to do with that.
Yeah.
But that would make this park, or this part of the park,
Huge.
orientated to one franchise, really, really big.
Really
and
big.
I can't see them doing that, because that would mean having maybe 2, maybe 3 rides and an experience all into one.
Yeah.
I can't see them going that far with it, because when things change, then you have to change all of it. You know, I think they're just going to go for the 2 rides that are really obvious, and then the other 2 I think will be something else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's what we think, but yeah, that's
definitely.
exciting.
I think How to Train Your Dragon is a really, really
I think it's a good shout. And we haven't seen many people say this, and for us it was quite like, I don't know, it stuck out like a sore thumb, didn't it, to us?
I think you'll see when we talk about the roller coaster that's next to it why we've said that.
Yes.
So let's move on to
Let's
that.
move on.
Yeah. Moving on a little bit.
Moving on.
So let's have a look at the roller coaster that's next
Yep.
to that massive bowl arena thing.
We've just highlighted it out there.
Yeah, so as you're walking from the Shrek ride, I'd say, there's a little bit of orange that kind of looks like the canopies that they've just put in at How to Train Your Dragon in Epic Universe. Now, they look very, very similar to those. Now, they've probably hidden a lot of things, like I say, in the concept art, but that would make me think the roller coaster is themed to How to Train Your Dragon.
Now, here's on this, because we've actually looked at some of the videos for Epic Universe, haven't we? And that roller coaster looks pretty similar to the roller coaster they've got there on How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, because you're nearly touching the water. At one point of the bank there, you can sort of see it into the lake. And that to me moves, the movement is almost like something is flying.
Yes.
That's kind of how it would circle round.
Now, this is going to be a massive roller coaster, and I do think it's going to be kind of gliding roller coaster. You're going to be looking at all the views. Yeah, that's what I think actually, because it's spread for quite a long.
It's a big roller coaster.
Distance, isn't it? Yeah, and there's a lot of foliage there, a lot of trees, a lot of things to be looking at. I do think you could be on a gliding dragon going around the roller coaster.
If you think of How to Train Your Dragon and think of Toothless,
yes,
how he goes through the trees and then circling on the water and stuff, that is 100% a possibility, I think, for that ride. And again, not many people have said this, because it kind of looks like the Hulk in Universal Orlando. Again, Islands of Adventure. So that's a green track. Kind of gives that away. And other people have then gone to say it looks like Wicked because it's green.
Green. But then I'm thinking, why would the Hulk be there?
The Hulk wouldn't be. So as
there's
most
no
people
theming
know,
really around that.
well, Disney have also bought Marvel,
Yes.
which is then probably going to stop Universal using that IP eventually. Now they can, I think Universal can create their own films with the Hulk still at the minute. Hence why you've never seen one from Marvel. Just a standalone Hulk film. It's only just been part of the Avengers. So that, I don't think it'd be the Hulk. I don't think it'd be Wicked, because again, it's not really fitting in with the surrounding.
I don't know
area.
what Wicked roller coaster you could do. If anybody, if you thought it was Wicked, so anybody who's watching this video, in the comments, if you think it's Wicked, what type of roller coaster do you think that would be? Yeah,
I'd be really intrigued with that.
Yeah,
because I can only see. I would expect it to be green and pink.
Yeah,
I would expect it to be both colours from Wicked, not just green. And like I say, How to Train Your Dragon, there's definitely the Green Death. I think is one of the dragons in there.
Yeah. Yes, there is. There's a green dragon in there, isn't there?
It could be that it's not about Toothless the Night Fury. It's about.
But it does look very similar to the one at Epic Universe. Not the track itself, probably, but the fact that it goes over the water like it does is quite similar. Also, if you are looking at the land, if you zoom in even further, there is a few models there. Now, I mean, we could do this. It's probably blurred. But there is some models that, I don't know, we think we can see dragons. It's very blurred. It's extremely blurred, but
I think we're looking at it because we want it to be dragons as well.
I mean, there's that as well, but there is a lot of canopy. There might be a few little old buildings there, which are quite hidden. And it would be interesting if that show bit in the background, what we've just shown you, if that was to do with How to Train Your Dragon.
Would make sense that they're
that
both
it links, So
that would give you the sense of being on the Isle of Berg.
Yes.
You know, and you've got your dragons up at the top in there, a little area where you get to see them all flying around, because that's part of the film. is having the dragons chase and like drop the sheep and whatever.
Yeah.
You could have that with the drones.
You could.
So I think that's
It stuck out. It's funny because it stuck out to me like a sore thumb, and then you mentioned it, and I was like, could this possibly be How to Train Your Dragon?
That would be. I think that's a strong one. Now again,
I do.
Universal have said they don't want to copy what they've done at their other park, but that's not technically copying.
No, this is an epic universe, and it's clearly seen as being quite popular. So,
I think that's something they're going to work on. So, there is another reason why we said we think it's How to Train Your Dragon and not Jurassic Park, because that would make it too big for Jurassic Park area, because that's what we're going to move on to next. So the next bit. Now, we're not going to say Jurassic Park. I think it is going to be Jurassic World.
I think it's going to be Jurassic World. Yeah. Not Jurassic Park. I think they've got Jurassic Park everywhere. So I think just to go a bit different, I think it's going to be Jurassic World.
I think they rebranded the one at Universal Orlando. They did rebrand that as Jurassic World not too long back.
Okay.
But this will they only reskinned some of the rides. There's nothing specific to Jurassic World. It was just changes the logos. So looking at this area. It has palm trees in it. This is what we talked about at the start.
Yeah.
And it has a very, very jungle vibe. Now, if you look at some of the certain areas within this, it definitely has the architecture for Jurassic World.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at that massive show building. Now, this is
Huge.
probably the biggest show building in the whole of the park.
Definitely.
This, to me, if you look at the frontage of it, that looks like Jurassic Park, doesn't it?
100%.
Or Jurassic World, it looks like Jurassic whatever.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be part of that franchise. I mean, that is a big show building, like I say.
Yes.
Now, Orlando has the rides there, and they've got like their Pterodon flyers. They've got the boat that goes down in the water when the T-Rex pops out of the top. But I think this looks more like the Beijing.
Can you imagine?
If it's the Beijing one where you get chased by the T-Rex and by the is it the Indominus Rex?
I think so. You actually get chased by the T-Rex.
They
like I've never been, but we watched a POV, didn't we?
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, if they bring that here, I'll be so excited.
That'll make sense why that's the biggest ride in the park. Because that to me would be kind of like Dinosaur that's just gone from Animal Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like that. I think that'd be really interesting here.
One thing I've noticed though, and I didn't notice this before, I literally just noticed now. If you look at the show building, it looks like it's on different levels. So it actually looks like it's small and then it gets a bit higher, then a little bit higher. I've just noticed that now, and obviously the Jurassic Park ride, you go up, don't you, and you see the T-Rex at the top.
I wonder if that is more. You've got a pre-show at the start where it's like you say, like on a lower level.
Yeah.
Then you're going to drive up into something, and then there's going to be a bigger show in there. Now, if it is a T-Rex, they are tall models and animatronics to have. So that building would look like it would hold them.
And if you look at the left-hand side of the building, it looks like a little shop, doesn't it?
Yeah, now that really does look like the Jurassic World sort of style again, with the blue on it, so almost like the InGen sort of logo they have floating around that bit for Jurassic World. Yeah, it kind of does look like that.
Just the whole area gives me Jurassic World vibes. It just does. You've got like a bit of the front of the water there that could possibly be a restaurant. I think that looks like a restaurant. How nice would that be? And we've actually zoomed right in. And I feel like you can see like flame torches outside, and even in the foliage there, in the little bushes, I felt like you could see some dinosaurs.
I'm thinking T-Rex Cafe vibes.
Oh yeah, you could have a T-Rex Cafe.
You've got your T-Rex Cafe in Orlando in Disney Springs. Maybe we used to have something like that here. We had the Rainforest Cafe in Paris, but I think we used to have one in London.
Yeah, we had one in London.
This would be a nice version of that.
How cool would that be? And then if you look at, I love this on the outside of the big show building. You've got a lovely little bridge going over like a rock pool or something like that. I mean, some fountains there. It's just giving me really pure peaceful Jurassic Park vibes. I can just imagine hearing the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that to me, that's what it looks like. Now you've got something interesting, haven't you, to say?
Yeah, bad time. No, on the left-hand side of this model. So if you look at they're almost like a pair of twin drop rides.
I'm going to zoom in onto that actually, because
Yeah.
so you can see it a bit better.
So if you look at those and like again taking real detail in this, that bottom part of that ride kind of looks like a raptor enclosure. Now, for me, looking at the Jurassic World landscape you've got there, you've got one big e-ticket ride right in the middle. And then these look like so if you've ever seen them, Dr. Doom's Fear Drop
Oh yeah.
in Orlando Islands of Adventure. So that'll probably be rebranded in the future, I imagine, with the Marvel legacy leaving that park. But I think that looks exactly the same ride, but rethemed to have Jurassic Park. Now, imagine you're in that roller coaster. It's not a roller coaster. Imagine you're in that ride, and you start off at sort of normal ground level, but you don't know. But I think there's going to be something below you on this. It's going to take you to the top and drop you into the raptor enclosure.
Oh my goodness.
And the raptors are going to be in there, and they're all going to be going at you, and then it pulls you back out again. Just from what I see on that ride, that's my
Can you
mindset
imagine?
with that. I think that'd be insane.
You said it looks just like the Velociraptor cage, didn't you?
Yeah. We'll try and put a video like a still up of the cage.
Yeah, because
definitely think it
it's
looks
the
like
same
it.
shape and everything. Now, how incredible would that be to have a drop ride with Velociraptors at the bottom? You are going to be absolutely terrified.
Yeah, you think of Dr. Doom's Fearful, it's exactly the same ride. I mean,
then
it's got to be.
if you look next to it, there's actually looks like it could be a treetops play area, or could it be a viewing stand? So then you can stand and view and look at people actually dropping
into the raptor
enclosure.
That's going to be insane. I just think that's got such a potential to be a proper thrill ride.
We might be overthinking this.
Might be completely off the mark. It might be a pterodon flyer, and
How
nice
cool
and
would
up
that
and down.
be?
But it does look like the raptor enclosure at the bottom.
Yeah,
Can't
and there's a
deny
bit
it.
of water there as well, bit of riverage.
Yeah, and if this is going to be based on Jurassic World, I would hope the raptor enclosures look like the ones from the newer Jurassic World with Chris Pratt as Owen Brady. I think they look like those enclosures with Blue and the other raptors. Yeah, I just can't see that not being
then you
it.
can meet Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what we
Screaming
think.
in your face.
But I think we need to move on now.
Yes.
We could be talking about. Oh look, I've got Jurassic Park top on.
There we go.
Universal Studios as well.
It's a shame there's no Ghostbusters land right here, you know? But hey. Yeah, let's move on to the next and sort of, I think it's nearly the last. No, there's two. There's two more lands to go.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this next bit. So as you can see, we've run around on the map what we're going to be talking about. And if we zoom in, you can see this absolutely ridiculously huge roller coaster.
It looks gigantic.
It looks tall, it looks scary, it looks
Fast.
incredible, fast. There's all different, there's all different, what do they call them?
Loops
and different, I can't remember what you call them. Changeovers, yeah, those changeovers and yeah.
Yeah, so we think this area, again, other people have gone with this and I totally agree with them on this.
Yeah, I do.
Back to the Future. So this looks like the Hill Valley sort of setup. So just in front of the roller coaster, there is a little show building there. I say show building. It looks like it's going to be the facade for the ride. Now I think that's going to be the town hall that you would see in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to enter through there into the ride, and it looks like
that's a big show building, though, isn't it?
It looks like there's quite a lot going on. So you're probably going to have a pre-show in there somewhere. Now. Yeah, I think there's going to be some bits going on with Dr. Emmett Brown and with Marty McFly. Yeah, I think you're going to get a bit of that. So.
Well, then, yeah, because if you look, you can actually see that the coaster does go into the show building itself. Yeah. So I think you'll start off in there. We've had a little look at this roller coaster. We've kind of run our finger around, haven't we? And showed where we think it goes, and we think you come out of the show building where you can see it goes straight up to the top of the spike.
Back down.
So
nearly goes back into the show building, but turns left.
Turns left, goes round.
Round, which then brings you back up the spike, and then you're going to go up and then left again, round the loops, and then round and back into the building. So
that's what we think.
We don't know whether it's going to be. Are you going to be like in a reverse launch for this? Because if you reverse launch to get the speed. Now, the whole idea for Back to the Future was to get the DeLorean to 88 miles an hour. Now, if the roller coaster goes 88 miles an hour, it will become the fastest in the UK.
Woo!
The Spike is also going to be the tallest. So it's going to be bigger than Hyperion at Thorpe Park, which...
We hope. It looks like it.
That will be an absolute monster.
Yeah.
It'll smash 2 records in one go. So I think the potential for that to be a DeLorean-based ride that goes up pretty high to then give you the momentum to do 88 mile an hour. I mean,
can you imagine being on a roller coaster that goes 88 miles per hour? I mean, that's
insane.
Ridiculous.
That's going to be insane.
I mean, I'm terrified, but I'm looking forward to this ride.
Yeah, no, Back to the Future is still a big IP for Universal. Now, again, they have never done this type of ride. They have had a ride, but it was more, again, I'd say more like Dinosaur, a bit more like 4D moving ride. So having the Hill Valley area out front, I think some of those buildings are going to be shops themed to it. Now, it depends which Hill Valley we're getting, whether it's the old one or the new one, because obviously it changes.
From this concept art, you can't really see a lot.
Nah, you can't see
they've done
anything.
That on purpose, haven't you? You've done that on purpose, Universal.
Very sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky. Yeah, so yeah, it's all very secretive and it's exciting. I love that.
But what I do like is right near the lake, right
yeah.
on the edge, there's a little amphitheater there. Now, I said this to you while we were sat there, like imagine being in the Hill Valley sort of area and hearing the Back to the Future music.
Yeah.
Like live. And I mean, there's certain things that happen within the film. If anyone's seen it, you'll probably know with Marty with the guitar gets on stage. Maybe that's what that is, and an extension, and maybe it's a bit of a Back to the Future, the live experience.
They've just done a live experience, haven't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
'Cause that
We heard this, didn't we, the other day, that they've already done a live experience, and we thought, hang on a second, is that what that's for? Because we never understood why that amphitheater style
why would it be
thing
attached
were there.
to,
Why is it there?
Why would it be on?
That makes sense now.
I think that's more where that's aiming for. That makes sense. It'll give you a good ambience for that bit of the park.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it might not even be all the time. It might just be certain show times for that when it happens. But yeah, that's interesting.
I think that's cool. So, one more area to go. We'll show you that next.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit sus.
Yeah, it's very sus. So,
Sussy land.
probably because it's come out recently as well. Now,
Sorry.
looking at this, I think it's Paddington.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason why I think it's Paddington as well.
I agree.
We've just looked at the picture again. Like, I've just seen it in a better high definition. Now, right sort of, I suppose it's to the top left of the picture in the brownie sort of area there. It looks like there's a jar of marmalade.
And what does Paddington Bear like?
Marmalade sandwiches.
Marmalade sandwiches. That has got to be. I actually said.
Not marmalade toast.
Not marmalade. Oh, no, I said that looks like marmalade. And there's like pieces of toast around it, but he doesn't have toast, as he has sandwiches.
No,
But yeah, I mean, it could be like a sandwich player. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it could be Peru.
It could
be something.
It's so sus. They've done this on purpose, where it looks like they've took bits out. It's kind of blurred. You cannot see.
But I wouldn't go.
much.
I would think this would be a sort of a kids zone.
Yeah.
And I think there could be a little bit more there. There's a little building at the back, which I imagine is retail or food.
Yeah.
Probably doing marmalade sandwiches. I think that's going to be Paddington.
And it makes sense being in the UK. You're not that far from London.
Yeah.
It was
a cancelled attraction for the London park, for the Paramount one. So this was already done in concept for that park. Is it possible they've just, whatever company it is, has gone, whoa, we've got some Paddington rides and sold them to Universal? Or going to.
It's possible, isn't it?
Somebody's got the plans for them. So I think that's where it finishes off. Like this, they've got the kids down there. Now there are things that are blocked just on that walkway back to the front. I don't think you can see what exactly is there. And it wouldn't be a blank walkway between Paddington and the main.
No.
entrance.
I think there's a lot on what's not on there, shall I say. I think there's going to be more going off. But that definitely looks like a Paddington land. It looks like a kids land. Not sure what the attractions are in that land because we've zoomed in. I mean, There is like a little spinny thing, isn't there? It looks like hot air balloons, is it? I've not watched Paddington.
It looks almost umbrellas.
Umbrellas, that's it. Not hot air balloons.
Yeah.
Little umbrellas. I don't know.
Be useful with our lovely climate, wouldn't it?
You wouldn't get wet on this attraction.
No, you'll have loads of little umbrellas to cover you. So that's perfect.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, there's a bit with the circle, and I don't know. People say it looks like probably carousel. Carousel.
Can't tell what.
Can't tell. We said it looks a bit like dense. It looks like a camping ground.
Yeah,
it won't be a camping ground.
Well, unless it's a sitting sort of play area or something, maybe a relaxing area. I don't know.
But we definitely think it's Paddington.
Yeah, and I think that brings us all the way back to the hotel.
We haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah.
So we'll show you that one next. So if you look here, it looks like a fancy hotel. This has got to be the hotel, right?
Yeah. I would hope this is the hotel. I mean, it's kind of shaped like
a hotel.
It's kind of shaped like the other hotels that Universal have. So you've got this nice entrance and like the walkway bit that juts out in the middle there, just where the car park
nice
is.
Nice and covered.
Yeah, and it's going to need
we should need a new gate.
It's definitely going to need it. But then it'll split off to the left and right, so you'll have different views. Now some will have the views of the entrance of the park, but that looks like at the bottom. I wonder if that's going to be a retail space down there or something else, because that looks like a big area. Maybe it's a cinema for the hotel.
Maybe.
That you can access.
I'm just looking at those rooms. I mean, can you imagine having a room looking onto the lake and looking out onto the rest of the park?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a dream come true, isn't it?
They're going to be your premium room, aren't they? Let's face it, having a lakeside view.
We are actually saving up as we speak. We're going to put £50 each away a month. Right up until it doesn't sound like a lot, but it will build up in 6 years. And hopefully that will get us a good, room there. And for a few nights.
Yeah, and we want to be there.
We want to be
realistically. As soon as them bookings come up, we want them.
We want it.
Yeah, I think
it's happening.
I think that's the hotel. But there's got to be more to the hotel, and they mentioned it within the sort of the blurb as well. There's a 500-room hotel. It's
500 room. There's got to be restaurants in there. There's going to be shops in there. There's a lot actually. I mean, there's some nice again. Look at the green around it. They've really themed it well from what we can see on here. It looks lovely. It looks luscious actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of greenery.
Yeah, I think it's going to have a good. I think you're going to have your own car park to park in while you're at the park. I mean, it's right on top left of the map. There is another bit of parking. I don't know what that's going to be for yet. That might be staff. But
there's a bit there.
You've got parking there, so that's going to be your parking for the hotel. Then you're going to be able to go in through the hotel lobby and then straight out the other side.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
That's insane.
Again, I feel like it fits the theming of when you just walk in. Like I said, it was like a Mediterranean type of theme. That's what I think anyway. And I think the hotel looks quite Mediterranean too. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
I don't know, I'm getting those Mediterranean vibes. Or like LA vibes, because their building's quite Mediterranean. So Hollywood, I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to say right now what they're going to go for as a theme for the hotel, because if you look at the two that have just opened near Epic Universe, like Terra Nova and I can't think of the other one's name now, but they look proper space age to go with Epic Universe. I mean, they are very universe names. So this, going with our sort of infrastructure and our sensibilities and stuff, I think it's going to fit in really nicely.
I think they're going to go quite European, aren't they?
I hope they're not going to go for a Wetherspoons theme. No offence to Wetherspoons.
If you look down in this bottom corner here, you can see Wetherspoons.
Could you imagine? Universal Wetherspoons. But no, I think they are definitely
Tesco Express up here.
They're definitely going to have a Tesco Express. They're not going to have a Tesco Express. They're definitely going to have some food. I think some food options. This is this bottom portion of the hotel that's got me. Now, is it going to have an indoor swimming pool? Is it going to have something like that?
Yeah, because it's quite a big bit, that. So it could be an indoor swimming pool, or it could be another, I don't know, show space. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. And again, that might be where the cinema is, and we've totally misread the other side of the.
There's numerous. There's a number of things it could be. There's so much going on.
Needless to say, it's exciting whichever way we look at it.
It's so exciting. This is literally the best news UK could have had
Definitely.
Can't get better than this. And the fact that it's actually going to go ahead and they're going to be starting the works, hopefully, next year. That's what they've said, isn't it?
Yeah, subject to all the planning permissions and everything, it should start in 2026. So it'd be nice to keep getting down to Bedford to have a look, because it's not that far away from us.
Yeah, I mean,
Pop
2
down and have a look
hour,
at how
40, I mean, that's not long at all, really.
we can always see how it's progressing.
I just think 2031, it needs to like hurry up and come. And it's like wishing your life away, isn't it? And I don't want to wish my life away because I love my life, but like I can't wait for this. This is all we've talked about since the announcement.
Yeah, that we have. So there's some things that were potentials that we didn't talk about. Now they might actually fit into some of those empty spaces. So remember that one back behind Shrek?
Oh yeah.
And I've just spotted it on my notepad. I've got down Dark Universe with a question. So they've just had some new rides there, and they look insane. Now it would fit the castle theme to have the Castle Dark Universe ride, and it's in the forest.
So you could have like a Dark Shrek ride to start off with, and then you could have like a Dark Universe ride.
Yeah, possibly. I mean that would maybe fit the theme. I mean, I'm looking down the list of things I've got here. I've got Terminator. That's an IP that's missing from that park now.
Yeah, could be.
And they've just they're on the road again doing the concerts live with the screening of the film again now. So you've also got Men in Black. Now, Men in Black obviously had the big towers. Now, kind of like the drop towers. But they had the space ride where you go around shooting the aliens on there with the guns. Remember we did it?
Yeah, we did do it.
Yeah, not bad you on it.
Basically, you always batter me on it all. Apart from Spider-Man, can't batter me on that. Just thought I'd get that in.
We'll see.
But yeah, I think what we're trying to say about that building, which we'll put on screen, that we don't really know.
No, we really don't know with that one. So
if
you have an idea of what that could be, might be, what you want it to be, please let us know. Comment about it, because I want to start a really big discussion over this.
Yeah, because we are, oh my gosh, we are so excited about this. If there's anything you disagree with, I mean, we're the type of people who can take it. If you disagree with what we said, we're not going to cry.
No,
we won't be upset. In fact, we'll be quite excited to hear what you have to say, because this is it's so exciting.
Here's a question. What do you think about it not having Harry Potter in the park? Because
a
lot of people are upset about this. Now, me personally, I'm not that upset that Harry Potter's not there with us, because they've already overdone it to me Orlando.
I think initially I was upset because I just think you've got to have Harry Potter in the UK, haven't you? I mean, it's
synonymous with the UK,
yeah.
isn't it? You know.
But it kind of makes sense with Warner Brothers being in London, 40 minutes away.
Isn't it Watford, 40-minute way? Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, this is perfect. If you really want the Universal experience, I have been to the Walt Disney. The Warner Brothers. Disney on the pin. The Warner Brothers. I've actually been there and done the Harry Potter tour, and it is absolutely fantastic. And you do get butterbeer. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So if you really do want that, it's a 40-minute drive. It'll be really quick on the train when they do the train station.
Yeah. I mean, you've got London at your fingertips there as well, so you can actually live and breathe the Harry Potter experience by being in
King's Cross.
There you go.
I mean, oh my gosh, it's perfect. So you could go to Universal, have the Harry Potter experience down at the Harry Potter Studios, and then you could go to King's Cross, and then after you can nip across the road, because the train station across from King's Cross is St Pancras. Get on the Eurostar, go to Disneyland Paris.
Not directly anymore, sadly.
Not directly,
you have to go to Lille and change over,
yeah.
and it's a bit of a faff. But you could still do all that within a few days. It's not unheard of, so you could now get that Universal Disney fix in one holiday.
Oh my god.
In the UK. In 6 years' time.
Ah!
But I think it's such an exciting time for the UK, and people that don't really get theme parks and stuff, I don't think really get how exciting this can be, especially for content creators. They're going to have something in their back garden, like Orlando have had for years.
It's going to be exciting for people like us, because we look at everyone who lives in Orlando, and they've got everything at the doorstep, and I just think that's amazing, incredible.
Their doorstep's still like half an hour,
it's
an
massive.
hour away.
It's a massive doorstep.
You know, you're still in the same state. Here, I can drive down to the shop and go through 3 counties. You know?
It's true.
It's insane.
That is true. But yeah, it'd be great for content creators, small ones like us, and that we can go down and we can film. We can be annual pass holders. This is so exciting for us, because We can't always get to Disneyland Paris. We can't always get to Orlando. We are very limited with work.
This gives us a viable
You
option,
need a massive amount of funds, don't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So this for us is very accessible. I'm
quick.
buzzing.
It's quick and it's going to be easier for us to get to. I think. I mean, like I say, 2.5 hours, 2 hour 40, and that's driving. We're not even considering the train. Yeah, because we don't know what that's going to look like infrastructure-wise for us. It could be a half an hour trip.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how quick it'll be. And you can carry on and go straight to London and go to the Disney store. You know, because that's there as well.
I'm guessing there'll be a Universal store probably come up in London as well.
If not, there'll be one.
There'll be one there.
There'll be
definitely.
one here on City Walk.
Definitely.
You know, you've got to look for City Walk. When that comes out, we'll have a deep dive on City Walk as well to see what's there. But we hope you've enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We've certainly enjoyed looking through it. Like I say, we look forward to getting your comments and sort of seeing what other people like or want to see or have seen on there that we've not seen. And
if there is any updates that we hear about, we will try and do another video of any updates.
We'll do it. We know there's been some updates to Disney as well, so we'll do a separate video for you.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, remember,
take a slice of Beb's life,
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.